All right, you're looking at pictures right now of Alan Weisselberg, the CFO of the Trump Organization, coming into the Manhattan courthouse. You see there, he is handcuffed, escorted by law enforcement as he heads to the 11th floor of the courtroom.
Bye-bye. See you in Attica. Yeah, I wish. Hey, everybody. Hey. So this is an interesting day, to say the least. We got two Supreme Court decisions. I will go over them with you. One I don't care about. The other one I do, and you will too. And it's really not. It's not great. The breaking news now. The news that is just getting described. Is the indictment of the Trump Organization, the indictment of Alan Weisselberg, the CFO, as well. So this indictment is pretty amazing. It's got 15 felony counts. Yes, I said that, 15 felony counts. We were all wondering if, there would be some sort of a RICO violation, meaning that this was a racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. Well, so far, it looks like that is where this goes, because one of the counts is a scheme to defraud, conspiracy, criminal tax fraud, offering a false instrument for filing taxes, and falsifying business records over a period of 15 years. Oh, my God. And, of course, their attorneys, meaning, the Trump attorneys, they're all going to stand there and say, well, they didn't indict Trump. They didn't indict Trump. That's because they don't have intent yet. And, of course, we went over this. Civil liability, civil penalties become criminal charges once you have that all-important ingredient, intent. And that's why Alan Weisselberg went first. That's why they focused on him first. Because he knows what Donald Trump intended to do with his company. He knows whether or not Donald Trump intended to defraud the government, intended to defraud, to file false forms, or if Donald Trump, didn't know, and Weisselberg just took it all upon himself to go ahead and commit tax fraud with the Trump Organization on the top line for 15 long years. That's why they went for Weisselberg first. Now, this indictment is unbelievable in that it's 15 felony counts, 15 criminal accusations. The attorneys for Trump are going to say, nobody ever gets charged for not claiming taxes on fringe benefits, but that is not what's in this indictment. This indictment does say that Weisselberg evaded $1.76 million in taxes over a period beginning in 2005 that he concealed for years that he actually lived in New York City, thereby avoiding paying city taxes. Yes, New York is one of the most expensive places to live. That is why I live here in Florida and not in New York any longer. Now, when I worked at Air America, I moved and lived in New York because I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Queens, and my that girl, Marlo Thomas dream, had nothing to do with St. Jude's, although now I'm a donor. What it has to do with is living in New York and walking past a window, a dressed window in New York, and seeing a mannequin and winking at it, and then messing up my hair as I moved to New York City. Yes, that and Sex and the City. I blame Sarah Jessica Parker and Marlo Thomas for all the taxes that I ended up paying when I moved to New York. What I learned working and living in New York was that not only do you pay federal taxes, but then you pay state taxes, and then you pay city taxes on top of it. So you can kiss goodbye about half of your income if you want to go to MoMA on the weekends, if you want to go to Broadway on a Monday afternoon, because that's what it's going to cost you. Anyway, he denied that he lived in New York, so he didn't pay city income taxes either. Of course, he pled not guilty, but the prosecutors have digital drives with grand jury testimony, bookkeeping records, tax records, statements of potential witnesses, and the tax records. So the idea here now is to refer to Mr. Weisselberg as Mr. Weaselberg. Because nobody thinks Alan Weisselberg is the nexus of evil. But if he's taking the rap for Donald Trump, he is the nexus of stupid. Because we all know what happens to anybody that covers for Donald Trump. They all end up getting royally screwed. Why? Rudy can't practice law anymore. Sidney Powell, she's being sued for $1 billion. Rudy's being investigated for, foreign adventures on behalf of Donald Trump in Ukraine. And now Weisselberg is finally going to see his name on 15 felony indictment counts, right? So it would be smart. I would have also not cooperated unless and until I was frog marched into the court to see what charges were being leveled against me. Well, now he knows. This is not what Alan Weisselberg prepared for this morning, believe me, when he turned himself in at 6:20 a.m. I don't think he expected 15 felony counts. I really don't. I think what he was some sort of a civil charge of, tax of not paying taxes on apartments that were given to him as what he was calling a fringe benefit. But I am not aware of anybody who gets millions of dollars in apartments and tuition for your grandchildren and your children, or who gets their son to work at the Woolman rink for 7 figures, or for somebody who, denies that they're residents. No, I don't think that's civil. That's criminal. But anyway, so now, The Apprentice has gone from The Apprentice to Law and Order is what it is. And everybody is going to be very well aware that Donald Trump was not smart. Donald Trump was letting his accountant and instructing his accountant to engage in a tax fraud scheme for 15 freaking years, which is why he paid $750 in federal income taxes last year and the year before. So that is why they narrowed the scope. They brought in this Rosencrantz dude. Okay, his specialty is RICO stuff, right? It's schemes, it's fraud, it's a pattern and practice of fraud. It's Listen, Leona Helmsley, she'd be a good example. Didn't she go to the Who's Gal? Yeah, she did. Why did she go? Tax evasion, tax fraud, right? People do go to jail for this crime. It's just that the lawyers are trying to say nobody's ever brought a criminal case for evading taxes on fringe benefits. Why? Trump's only crime was he was too generous. That is not what this indictment says. That is not what this indictment is about. This is an indictment that says that you were running a racketeering, influence, corrupt organization for the last 15 years with a conspiracy to defraud criminally not just the city in which you live, but also the government of the United States. And that you filed fake documents in furtherance. And that there was a conspiracy. So who did Weisselberg or Weasleman, let's just call him Weaselman, who did he conspire with if there's a conspiracy charge in here? And, of course, let's not forget that Donald Trump is unindicted co-conspirator 1 in the Michael Cohen case, which isn't even part of this because this only looks at one person, and that's the CFO of the Trump Organization, Alan Weaselman. He's 73 years old. Now, he could either come to the reality that he'll be pushing the library book trolley up and down the cells, or cooperate. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.